The United States started as only a small colony in 1607, and has developed into one of the biggest superpowers in the world. This resulted from the people joining together to help each other out when needed and fighting, even when going against the odds. The American dream can be best interpreted as the collective effort of Americans to help their country be as best as it can be by working together, while at the same time pursuing their own individual dreams. This is shown through various cartoons throughout the past 100 or so years, showing the rich helping the poor during the Great Depression, women stepping up to take the men's roles as they fought World War II, trying to improve public education for everyone, and someone from an ethnic background finally becoming president of this country. In 1929, the Great Depression, one of the worst economic periods in American history, struck the United States. Over 25% of the workforce was left unemployed, and the wealth was distributed quite unevenly about the Great Depression. This left people in a tough situation, where they did whatever they could to make a living. In this cartoon by Herb Bloch, published in 1930, is the rich man eating multiple apples being sold by a poor, now self-employed man. This man, who looks like he has recently lost his regular job, is now depending on the generosity of his fellow Americans to help him through these tough times, as shown by his sign saying "Help the Unemployed." This is a great representation of the American dream in a couple ways. First of all, it shows how Americans, even after losing one's job, won't give up hope and let the unemployment get to them. Out of work, the man on the left is still finding some way to make money to support himself and his family, instead of giving up hope. The other portrayal of the American dream in this cartoon is how the more affluent man is supporting his fellow American by buying many of his apples. This man was lucky and was able to keep his job and is now helping the other man achieve his dream. This is the other aspect of the American dream during the Great Depression of the 1920s, those who can help, helping those who need it. However, at this time, women still would not have the same opportunities to achieve the American dream as men. This injustice witnessed some change during World War II, providing women with more opportunities to pursue their dreams. In around the year 1942, J. Howard Miller created We Can Do It, featuring a new perspective on the role of women in society. During World War II, many of the men who previously held jobs in many important industries had to leave their positions to serve the United States in the war overseas. Rosie the Riveter. This model is shown doing a pose, that quite a masculine pose, which represents how the women will have to change their role and learn the male jobs too. These women knew that they needed to step up and take over the roles in multiple industries, while the men were all away at battle. Part of the American dream in the eyes of women in the middle of the 20th century was to be given the right to perform the same jobs as their husbands and succeed. Hence the quote encouraging women around the country to try hard to succeed. We can do it. Despite being slightly second-class citizens for the majority of their history, women came in not only to help the economy, but to show to everyone else that it was possible for women to also do the jobs that men do, part of their personal American dream of having equal status as men. As a whole, these women fulfilled the nationwide American dream by coming together and doing what would be best for their country. Education had always been an important part of pursuing the American dream, but the educational opportunities were not always equal for everyone. In 1977, Herb Bloch drew a cartoon depicting a predominantly white suburban school and an inner-city school that seems to be filled with more ethnically diverse students. The suburban school also seems to be much bigger and in much better shape than the inner-city one. But in both the suburban school and the inner-city school, the viewer can see students from both schools reciting the same Pledge of Allegiance. Most children have the dream of becoming successful, and the inner-city children won't let the fact that their school isn't up to par with the suburban school hinder their ability to learn. The children in both schools are reciting One Nation, Indivisible, showing how all the children of the country are all going to be working together to achieve their American dreams. However, the people of America did realize the difference between these schools. This cartoon was also made to show to the people the shoddy shape of some inner-city schools, which led to reform to try to improve the education system for the schools that needed it. As a whole, the Americans worked together to improve and work on the education for the future, to allow all the children to pursue their own individual dreams through the help of the population as a whole. Despite this, African Americans and other ethnic groups still were not treated as equals. In 2008, our current President Barack Obama was elected of the important role as head of the United States. Despite coming from a different ethnic background, all the racist hatred that still exists in this country, Obama proved that the time had come for people to trust and accept an African American as president of this country and allow him to pursue his American dream. Obama was allowed by the whites, who have held almost all of the political control until recently, to have the same dream of becoming president of one's home country as white man. As shown in the cartoon created by Manu Kumar in 2010, the author of this paper, all of the presidents, 1 through 43, were all white males, and now finally the majority of the country has accepted a non-white as president. It is encouraging for Americans of all ethnic backgrounds to see a huge step in the fight against racism. Although it is sad that it has taken this long for an event like this, and that racism is still a problem today. Nevertheless, this is a giant step in the progression of the American dream of the people coming together, people of all different colors, to solve the problems of the world. The American dream has been founded on working together. As the times changed, different groups who were in need for some social or economic help were given it by fellow Americans in position to do so. Everyone has their own personal dreams that they wish to achieve, and for the most part, people in this country have a sense of patriotism and want to do what is best for the country, without people's different backgrounds getting in the way.